Republican Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earle-Sears just voted herself into a political corner on the right to contraception issue. Chris Graham here, Augusta Free Press. Earle-Sears, who has a clear path to the Republican nomination for governor in the 2025 cycle, cast a tie-breaking vote on Tuesday that would have killed SB 1105, legislation introduced by Richmond Democrat Ghazala F. Hashmi that would establish, quote, a right to obtain contraceptives and engage in contraception, per the bill's description on the Virginia General Assembly website. Now, the bill was brought back up for a second vote through a unanimous reconsideration motion on second try past 2118, but Earle-Sears only votes as lieutenant governor in the Senate if there's a tie to break. So originally, her tie-breaking vote would have killed this legislation. Now, this bill has a tougher hill to climb than just Earle-Sears voting to vote against it. It's hard to imagine our current Republican governor, Glenn Youngkin, signing this kind of legislation if it were to get to his desk, given that Youngkin is reportedly considering a run at U.S. Senator Mark Warner in the 2026 cycle. But talking about hurdles, it may be the case that you can't win a Republican nomination by voting to protect the right to contraception, but supermajorities of independents and Democrats, we're talking about 90+%, do support the right to contraception. And you can guess that Abigail Spanberger, the presumptive Democratic Party nominee for governor, is going to run the Earle-Sears tie-breaking vote into the ground. Here's a quote from Spanberger. Virginians deserve a governor who will defend their reproductive freedoms, not pretend that threats to their rights aren't real. When this legislation comes across my desk as governor, I will sign the right to contraception into law. Now, remember here that Youngkin blundered himself into losing Republican control of the House of Delegates in 2023 when he took an early post-Dobbs victory lap, indicating he would sign abortion restriction legislation if legislators could get a bill to his desk. Here's more from Spanberger. Virginia is the only state in the South that hasn't passed further restrictions on women's reproductive health care since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. That's the Dobbs decision we talked about. But we don't know what the next attacks on our fundamental rights will be, Spanberger said. Over the past 2.5 years, we've seen how the Dobbs decision opened the door for renewed attacks on birth control and emergency contraception in states across the country. More from Spanberger. As the proud mom of three girls, I find it unacceptable that some politicians believe they're entitled to a say in families' personal medical decisions. I believe in Virginians' fundamental right to privacy, and I believe we must make sure that the right is protected for future generations. Today, the Senate of Virginia took a real step to do just that.